Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Sol here with another South Park Phone Destroyer video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the new card that's going to be hitting South Park Phone Destroyer this week. If you have just seen the announcement that Buck and Uitoller just made, we have a new card coming. It's right here, right front and center. His name is Elven King Bradley. And he's going to be arriving, or we're going to have a chance to get him at the end of the week event. This, as you can see from the background imagery, is going to be a new fantasy card, a new fantasy theme card. And if you saw the announcement, you sort of have an idea. But for those of you that do not, this card will be bringing a new game mechanic to the game. Now, the purpose of this video will be to discuss the new card, talk about what are the current card mechanics, what this new card will bring, what are the stats of the card, what does it imply, who can use it, you know, all of that. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I think about the card, how I plan to use the card, and then I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you think about the card. How are you going to planning to match it up with all your other cards in your deck? So first and foremost, the current card mechanics, we just know, right? So what does the new card has that is not included here? Well, the new card, it actually boosts a stat that up till today has not been modified except for challenges, right? And if you haven't seen the announcement, then that should give you a hint. And if you saw it, you already know, right? And the other important thing is that the boost will be selective. And it will not be permanent. It will not stay up for the entire of the game. Think about Ninju. He comes out, he dies. The boost on health stays, or in attack stays constantly with the units until the unit that was boosted dies. Now, with this new card, that will not be the case. It will boost a particular class of cards, and the boost will only be present up to the point where the card that guide ability, in this particular case Elven King Bradley, dies. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the card, right? That's what you want to see. Elven King Bradley, what he does, he is a rare 3-cost fighter, right? This is important. He is a fighter, 3 costs and a rare, and his main thing is that he will add to the range, right? He will add to the range of range units, and he would add to the attack power of range units. Only range units, right? So that means that range units will get longer range and they will get better attack stats, right? Now think about this. That is a fighter. That's what he does, right? So he will not be able to stay back and do their thing. He will be sort of in the front lines while the range units on the back do their thing. Now at base level 1, what we're looking at is a fighter that has 175 HP of health, 32 attack of base, 32 points of base attack damage, and then it adds 10 attack points at base level 1. At max level 7, or at level 7, that actually increases to 45 attack. You can see that the boost of the range will not change. Now remember, the effect will only be present while he's on the field, and it will only affect range units, right? No other units will be affected. Satan is a range unit, so he will get a boost in range. But any other units that are not ranged, right, that don't have the little bow and arrow icon on the top, will not be affected by him. So what all of this implies is that cards with extremely long range will be able to hit the enemy new kid from deep inside your NK side, right? So think of Nathan. Nathan, I think, has a range of 5.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? He is almost at the center line when he's hitting the new kid, and he gets affected by the NK explosion. Now, guess what happens? If you deploy this card, you add an extra 1.8 of range. That means that he will be inside of your zone, and he will not be affected by the NK explosion. The same thing with Big Gayal, the same thing with Timmy, right? Now notice that the difference between Nathan and Robo Bebe, so Nathan I think is 5.5, Robo Bebe is 4.1, right? That means that difference right there is 1.4. So you have to add another 0.4 to that. if you're thinking of using Robobebe or using Terrence or using Wendy or using Craig or using Tweak, right? So cards that barely get hit by the new kit, those cards will be safer. Now they will be behind the new kit line when they're hitting the new kit. They will not be affected by the explosion of the new kit if you manage to kill it. Now, cards that used to be hit by the new kit sap, like Kyle and Sharon, now they will not be hit by the new kit sap. They will be safe as long as Elven King Bradley is on the field playing for you. As soon as he dies, they will lose the boost and they will have to walk forward in order to attack the new kid. Now, will this card be viable at level 1? I think so, right? I think it will be viable. At first, at low levels, you have to use this card as a spell card. You cannot use it as anything else because he will die quickly. He doesn't have a lot of damage, so you have to sort of time it right. You have to time it so that your units will do the most damage and that he's protected from other attackers, right? So maybe deploy a tank, deploy your ranged units, and then deploy the card as a spell card, right? It's just a 3-cost unit. So it's not that far-fetched like poison, which is 3 costs. Regen is 2 costs, but like freeze is 3 costs. So you're using a card that has some value to it as a spell card. But as you level that card up, then that card can be used as a proper fighter card, and you can use it. He will be able to survive longer, and even better if you can pair it with cards that heal. Sorry. My apologies for that. Cards that heal, right? That card, then even better, right? Who should use this card? I think anybody that plays a range heavy deck should give this card a try. Players that face a lot of defensive players, right? That play behind a tank. I think this is the card to use because you can use your ranged units for a lot longer. And then players that want to try new things, right? If you are one of those players that everything that comes new, you want to give it a try, yeah, for sure, give it a try. Will I use it? I think so. Hell yes. I will use this card. There's no chance that I will not try it and that I will not incorporate it into my deck. And more particularly, I plan to use it with my sci-fi fantasy deck, right? Specifically pairing it with my level 5 Bounty Hunter Kyle, my level 7 Robobebe, and my level 4 Amazingly Randy. I think it will be great, specifically because I can time it. I can time where I place the card so that when my Robobebe is approaching the new kid, and when she is before the halfway line, I can hit it, I can put that card in, and Robobebe will start hitting the new kid from afar. One of the many sort of problematic things that I find with sci-fi fantasy is a player wait for my Robobebe to go into shooting range and then deploy a defensive card. Or just deploy the defensive card just before Robobebe is about to arrive. Now, if I can trick that, right? If I can tweak that range so that I want you to attack now, put Elven King Bradley, and that's it. You're gonna be hitting the new kid. I think that's gonna be a great asset. I think I also will use it in conjunction with Big Gael, Sharon and Pirate Timmy. Those cards I think will benefit greatly. To use it with Sharon and Pirate TV means that I will have to develop a fantasy adventure deck. I have been tweaking a little bit with a deck like that, but I am not completely satisfied with what I have. Maybe Elven King Bradley is a card that I've been waiting to use and to make a viable fantasy adventure deck for myself. Now, there are many other options. I would love to hear from you. What do you guys think about the new card? What do you guys think about the effects? Do you think that this new mechanic will be game breaking? Would it make the game different? Will it change the meta of the game? I think it will, right? Specifically, it would switch away from the tankiness or the tank-based decks to a more dynamic and fluid long-range deck. You know, I enjoy the challenges or the long-range saps challenge or whatever it was. So I think, right, that it will work a lot better. Now, one of the questions that I have that I haven't been able to answer, the new kid is a ranged unit, right? So he had sap. Does that mean that he will also increase in range? If that's the case, he will be able to hit the new kid from, 2/3 of the court. So I think that's awesome. You can also use it as a defensive weapon. I did not think about that just right now, right? So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys have to think about it. I will leave you here with the stats again, of the cards. Well, I'll say my goodbyes. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that this video gave you some ideas on how to use the card. I will get access to the card early because remember, guys, I'm part of the development team, or not the developer team. I'm part of the content creators selected by the developers, so I get early peek access of some of the information. So I will get the card early. So please stay tuned for that. Monday and Tuesday, I will be doing some streaming with the new card. I'm doing some friendly fights, testing this all out. So please leave me comments on the on the video of things you want to see, combos that you want me to try. Theories that you want me to test, and I will do all of those for you. We'll probably do a live stream with that. So please, please, please hit that subscribe icon. Hit that the bell icon to be notified. Remember that I also do giveaways sponsored by Redlink. So yeah, please make sure that you hit those too. Hit the comment, and yeah, I would like to end the video now. Say thank you so much. Have a very good day. Take care, and Soul is checking out. Later, guys.